Good evening. It's January 8th, 2025. I'm sitting here with World War II hero, John.
World War II hero. I was starting that again.
John J. Jeckovich. Purple Heart, 2 Bronze Stars. I don't know what else to call him. He's frontline. He was no rear echelon. How are you doing today, Mr. Jeckovich?
Good, we're going good.
You're looking well.
Yeah, I got a bad foot, trench foot.
Trench foot and frostbite from World War II. 80 years later, it's still bothering him. Yeah, many young guys lost their foot and hands and fingers and nose and ears from frostbite during World War II. And that's an absolute fact. And Mr. Jeckovich, 80 years later, he's still suffering. But say, for example, if those listening are going skiing this season, if you have some types of signs of frostbite, the worst thing you could do when you're out in the cold weather, it's a cold winter coming up in many of the states, many of the ski states, you don't run inside near the fireplace for your potential frostbite. What you do is you grab like a snowball, rub it on that area, and that'll get the blood circulating again. That's the only way out on the frostbite. A lot of people didn't know that. They run inside, and that's the worst thing that can happen. Get the ice, get the snow ball type of in your hand and rub it on that spot. It will get the blood circulating again so the digit doesn't die and fall off. So besides all that, how are you feeling today?
I feel all right. I'm good, yeah.
You're looking well. What's your dog tag number?
42965.
That's the Mr. Jeckovich's dog tag number he wore during World War II. And that's also the code to open up the laptop to read his book. Mr. Jeckovich wrote a book over 3 decades ago about his life from 11 years old to his retirement, where he took care of his mother from 11 to his mother's end of his life at 89. What did you think of, for Sean, the photographs we pulled up for you today, where you used to work? Where did you used to work at?
Kimberly?
Buffalo Avenue. What was the name?
You mean Duplex Dine Wash?
No. The name of the person that you used to tell him.
Bennett.
No. Franchot?
Huh? Here it is, right there.
What's the name? You used to work for them.
Franchot Tone.
Yeah, you tell us how you used to work there.
No, my father used to put I would go help my father put the windows up, storm windows up, or screens up for Franchot Tone. He did some work at the cellar we put a fruit cellar down there, yeah.
Show him the picture. That was the movie star from the 1930s. Show it to the camera.
He lived at 151 Buffalo.
Right on Rapids,
Hold it up, John, so they can see it.
He lived at 151 Buffalo Avenue from Niagara Falls, New York, and he became a famous movie star.
The only movie star we have from Niagara Falls.
Yeah, and you did all the work for him.
He was married to Joan Crawford.
He was married to Joan Crawford, correct?
Yeah. One of them. He had free.
Remember what this was? Show everybody the house that you
lived
in.
That's the house he lived in, yeah. Well, my father and I worked in there. We put a food cellar there. We put the store windows up, took them off, put the screens up.
Show everybody the picture.
Hold it up. Just drop the napkin.
That's
the mansion Mr. Jeckovich worked at as a little boy with his father.
Yeah,
Franchot Tone.
Yeah, okay, put it there. And an interesting fact, that address is, you can look it up, 151 Buffalo Avenue. And that was a mansion, the closest mansion to the actual falls itself.
Yeah, you can hear the rapids.
You hear the roar of the rapids. And they're all dead now, by the way, but property was sold in 1961, 151 Buffalo Avenue, and they put up a mega-size apartment building. It's called Parkway Apartments.
Yeah.
And those are still there today, and they're still being sold.
Yeah.
And you can see the functional obsolescence in the apartments. They're all low ceilings.
Yeah.
Low ceilings, built in 61, and they're still being sold. A one bedroom is going for about $245,000. And the HOA fees, the monthly HOA fees are between 500 to 1,000 a month. And now that's quite a bit for Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
But that whole strip of Buffalo Avenue were all beautiful mansions
Oh, yeah.
during the time Mr. Jeckovich was a boy. And now what are they?
They're all slums.
Yeah, you got the casinos,
Well, they shut down the casino, yeah.
and it's amazing how you can turn into the most expensive property on the falls, on the rapids, to a ghetto.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain how.
Well, I was working on that second street with the giant wash, duplex giant wash,
Yeah,
for 18 years.
yeah. Well, there it is, the only movie star in Niagara Falls, and Mr. Jeckovich worked at his house for many years.
Yeah, my father did. I helped my father, yeah.
And did you have to go to school the next morning, and did you stay there, or did they put you up in a hotel or something?
That was, my mother was staying with Dr. Wright. She cooked with Dr. Wright and that, and they went out Saturday at night for lookout, and I was with her just to keep her company. And they didn't come back, and I wound up at the Hotel Niagara sleeping, and the car picked me up the next morning, took me to school.
Oh, wow. And was that right next to, was that on Buffalo Avenue?
Yeah,
So that was in Mansion Row.
yeah,
What an interesting thing. And now what's like today?
Dubs.
Yeah. It describes some of the features of the mansion. You said there was little, on the keyholes in all the bedroom, there was like little latches that go back and forth where the keyholes were, and there was push button electrical light switches. What else do you remember about the woodwork and the carpet and the oriental carpets?
We're in that
Yeah, that mansion that you worked at.
Franchot Tone.
Yeah.
Well, he was way ahead of it. He didn't have roller on the floor. He had tile.
Yeah, it was really nice, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty nice. Yeah.
Didn't you build in the backyard a dollhouse for the daughter?
The what?
Didn't you build in Franchot Tone's backyard a dollhouse for the daughter?
For Sally, yeah.
Yeah, you built that dollhouse.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Well, see, my mother used to cook there, and my mother used to watch the kids.
What's the connection, you think, that your mother and father worked at Carborundum, where Franchot Tone's father was the president of Carborundum?
Yeah.
What do you think was the connection there?
Well, my father got to know everybody in the Carborundum.
So you think Franchot Tone got your mother and father in Carborundum?
Yeah.
And then Franchot Tone went to Cornell. Do you think Franchot Tone, through the help of your father, got your oldest brother in Cornell?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So there's the connection.
Yeah.
So Franchot Tone's father was the president of Carborundum, which was like a mega corporation then. And so Mr. Jeckovich's mother and father start working at Carborundum, and then Mr. Jeckovich's older brother went to Cornell, and I believe it was
Recommended by what's his name?
Franchot Tone.
Yeah, Franchot Tone.
So and Franchot Tone went to Cornell. So it's just a wonderful thing how it all pieced together. The puzzle came together. Why both parents were working at Carborundum, because the mother and the father were working for Franchot Tone. Franchot Tone just happened to be the president of Carborundum. And then you fast forward a few years, Franchot Tone went to Cornell. He was a member of the board there. And so Mr. Jeckovich's older brother all of a sudden was accepted to Cornell.
Yeah.
That's the puzzle put together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it all came together.
Yeah, that was, I don't know.
Well, it all worked out. How many years did your mother work at Carborundum for?
Let's see, she left Kreski's, and my father got her the job at Carborundum.
How many years?
She must have worked 5 years, 4 years, 5 years. Yeah.
And then they kind of forced her out?
They forced her out because she's too old.
She was in her
The
80s?
younger woman would say, look, if you're taking you're taking the bread out of my kid's mouth because you're working, you're too old to be working here.
She was in
Get
her
the hell
80s,
out.
right?
Get the hell out.
80s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So you did a lot of work at Franchot Tone's house, right?
Well, we put windows up. We made it. My father and I helped my father. I didn't. My
Because you
father.
were young then. You were young.
Yeah. We put a fruit salad, down salad for them and everything.
Wow.
And then we changed the windows back and forth, summer and winter, storm windows and
Oh,
screens.
wow.
Took the screens off, put the storm windows up. Took the storm windows up, put the screens up.
Day or night when you were working in that backyard on 151 Buffalo Avenue, Niagara Falls, New York, which was right on the rapids, did you hear the roar of the falls all the time?
Oh, yeah.
What a beautiful sound. The roar of the falls. Wow.
Well, that was a high toy residential area anyway.
Not now.
Not now.
Not now. Wow. They had a pretty big piece of property because like 17-story apartment building went right up there.
Yeah.
So that was a large piece of property.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's an interesting puzzle we just put together. Let's see, we're on chapter 23.
Here's one little tidbit if you want to read that.
Oh, okay. Franchot Tone and its relationship with Carborundum. The Carborundum Company was incorporated in Monongahela, Pennsylvania in 1891 by Dr. Edward Ashon. The rapidly growing industry of hydroelectric power, wow, you're right at the base of the hydroelectric power
Yeah.
at his house, geez, drew Ashon, his company, to Niagara Falls, New York in 1895.
Oh, he's way back there, yeah.
Yeah. At this time, Carborundum, listen to this. At this time, Carborundum employed 35 people. In 1944, it was run by Franchot Tone. It had over 6,000 employees.
Yeah.
So this is no mom and pop operation.
No.
This is mega. Carborundum has seen days of mergers and acquisitions, and beginning in 1977, when Kennecott Corporation acquired its operating and management facilities. Kennecott Corporation also acquired by Standard Oil Company in 1982, thus allowing Carborundum becoming a subsidiary of Standard Oil Company.
Yeah.
So it's only getting better. It's
Yeah.
only getting better and more bigger, more powerful, and better. In 1987, and your mother was still alive then.
Yeah.
In 1987, Carborundum emerged into BP America, British Petroleum. Now it's even getting bigger.
Yeah,
and more powerful.
that was nationwide.
Yeah, worldwide.
Worldwide, yeah.
At this time, it ceased making grinding wheels. Tell us what your mother did there.
Smallest wheels, Inspector.
Ah, there it is. There it is. At this time, it ceased making grinding wheels. However, grinding wheels were still manufactured at the Logan, Ohio plant, which was sold by Carborundum to its employees in 1983 and has no association with Carborundum. In its heyday, Carborundum was a tremendously sophisticated organization that had plants and distribution centers throughout the world. Wow.
They had a lot of,
Could you imagine? And Franchot Tone you worked for was a head dog at the time.
Yeah,
Was it?
the dad, yeah.
And that's how your mother and father got to Carborundum,
yeah.
and that's how your brother got to Cornell.
Yeah,
Because he was also a member of the Cornell board.
yeah,
How the puzzle just came together.
And
yeah.
actually, that facility was located at 1625 Buffalo Avenue.
1625 Buffalo Avenue.
Yeah, that's Carborundum.
And Franchot Tone lived at
And
151.
then that big office building they had on
Yeah.
the corner?
And I think your sister worked there too. Your sister worked there in an office for a short period of time.
Yes, not too long.
Not too long.
Yeah.
She worked in a little tiny office at
Yeah.
Carborundum.
Yeah,
So your dad's contact and work he did at Franchot Tone's house, mansion, not house, mansion, brought your mother and father both working at Carborundum, and brought your brother to Cornell.
This is one interesting note right here,
What am I looking at?
this bound right here.
Government records show that the site handled or was contaminated by plutonium zirconium and hafnium. The Department of Energy considered cleaning the site, but ultimately determined it did not have the authority to do so. So they had a lot of troubles with contamination later.
Yeah,
Kind of like Love Canal and Hooker.
yeah.
Isn't it crazy? Love Canal is the biggest polluted site in the world.
People
And
build houses there.
people have moved back in there because they could buy the houses that were abandoned for next to nothing.
Yeah.
14 minutes.
Who the hell would
Well,
want
how
to
would they let them in?
But they are, you've seen it. And there's still, in 2024, they still had videos of the chemicals oozing through the ground,
Yeah.
up into the basements. Who the hell would want to move into that place?
And they're still living there.
Well, they moved out, now they're back.
Yeah.
Who the hell in their right mind would want to risk your life to save a few bucks?
The houses were cheap there.
Yeah, I think like $1,000.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's still going on today. Love Canal. Love Canal, and it was primarily the Hooker Chemical dumping the chemicals there because of all the items that they made during World War II.
Yeah.
Wow.
They got a steam shelf, they got a hole in it, throw it in there.
How times changed. The neighboring city, Buffalo, New York, at one time had more millionaires in Buffalo than anywhere else in the United States. Now
Yeah.
how's Buffalo?
Buffalo, so state.
Okay, and at one time, most immigrants fled to Niagara Falls, New York. The population swelled to 60,000. These are hard-working immigrants. They came through Ellis Island. And Niagara Falls is a very productive city. And Mr. Jeckovich opened up his business there and did quite well. How's Niagara Falls now?
It's deteriorated. Everything, they don't have the equipment, they don't have the city control it. They got the mafia in control. That comes.
And now the population is down to 10,000. It's no longer considered a city, it's a village. At one time, during the 60s, Niagara Falls, New York had over 23 Catholic churches and 17 Catholic grammar schools.
And 3 hospitals.
And 3 hospitals. How many Catholic churches do they have now?
Probably 2.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
1 or 2. And there was the schools, the Catholic schools and the Catholic churches were so close, sometimes they were only a block apart.
Yeah.
St. Stanislaus on 29th Street in Niagara, Our Lady of Rosary on 30th Street in Niagara.
Yeah.
And they were both thriving schools.
Yeah.
Kids wore uniforms.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had to go after school for catechism.
Yeah. Because you went to Niagara Street School, public school.
Yeah.
Wow. Did your brothers go to public school?
No, Stevie went to high school, and then he went to college.
I see. Wow, how that city changed
Yeah.
in terrible ways.
Look at McKenna Avenue and Allen Avenue, how croupy they were. And they were nice streets
At
then.
one time, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Mr.
I used
Jeckovich,
to deliver Eugene Lasinski there all the time.
what was that?
On McKenna Avenue and Allen.
What'd you deliver there?
What?
What kind of things did you deliver?
Paper, Lasinski, there was a Polish paper.
You delivered exclusively a Polish paper.
Yeah. Polish was the people lived over there, yeah.
Uh-huh. Did your mother get the paper?
Yeah.
Did your father read the paper?
No, my mother read just the obituary.
Your mother just cared about the obituaries.
Yeah.
And Niagara Falls is basically divided then by Polish and Italian.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really that bad today, but I knew some parts where Mount Carmel Catholic Church was.
Forest Avenue.
Yeah, good memory. Forest Avenue, they were just recently renamed in the last 10 years. That whole section is Little Italy.
Yeah.
Little Italy.
Little, yeah.
Wow.
Percucci, remember Percucci, real estate dealer, yeah.
Yeah, Little Italy. Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember the Polish stores your mother would go to, the little delis? Did you
Polish Nook?
You know, the Polish, say, meat markets and bakeries?
Oh, that one on East Fall Street, yeah. That was a Polish butcher, yeah.
Wow, how a city just lost everything.
Yeah.
It's all gone.
They all moved out. They moved to Buffalo, and then they moved out of Buffalo.
And they're all cool.
Buffalo's gone to hell, too.
South Carolina or Florida.
Yeah.
Florida or South Carolina.
But that flooding, boy, is bad.
Yeah.
Those fires in California are bad.
Yeah.
9 minutes.
Yeah. Well, let me read a few pages, put a couple pages under our belt. Let's see. This is picking up on page 781. "We will do good here" was his last words and subject. That's coming from Bennett. At this point, having observed Bennett over a period of a month or so, I came to the conclusion he was a typical hypocritical salesman and would do or say anything to clinch the sale in his favor.
Yeah.
Is that true today?
Yeah.
He'd say anything to get the sale, right?
Oh, yeah. He agreed with anything. Once they got the sale, he don't know you.
Yeah, take the money and run. I did not put much faith in his assessment of our success or failure in this endeavor and decided we would have to rely on our own good judgment and common sense to see us through the next several years. Our landlord was a stalwart, old-fashioned Italian who proved to be a great manipulator of sorts.
DeLuca.
Is that who it was?
Yeah.
He was Italian?
Yeah, a minister, supposedly a minister.
Yeah, watch out for the ones that are ministers. I always stay
Because
away.
always asking for more rent.
Yeah. I always stay away from the 3 Ps when I rent commercial or when I rent residential property. The 3 Ps stand for don't rent to pastors, prostitutes, or preachers. Bad news when you get involved in that. Bennett aided in negotiating a lease. So Bennett helped you with the lease with DeLuca.
Huh?
It said Bennett aided in negotiating a lease with DeLuca. Right? Bennett helped you with the lease with DeLuca?
Well, yeah, it was a strict, legitimate lease, yeah.
But DeLuca was skilled in the craft of conning and deceptive verbiage, and I'm afraid he caught us off guard in several important aspects. Bennett aided in negotiating a lease with DeLuca.
Well, we had to remodel the store upstairs. It was a mess.
Yeah.
I spent, $1,700 to remodel that store.
Yeah.
I was there 18 years.
Yeah, it's a long time, a lot of rent. But on an exchange, I sensed that he did not have our entire interest as a priority, and I reluctantly interposed my own viewpoint. Being inexperienced in this aspect, I rather hesitant and somewhat compliant, I gave up too much of DeLuca's interest rather to my own. What we really ended up with was a 5-year lease, renewable at the same rate, $150 per month. We would do all lease improvements, which was our biggest mistake. We should have gotten DeLuca for the lease improvements, and I suggested this to Bennett. His explanation was that we'd have to pay an exorbitant amount of monthly rent. We should have done better, but nevertheless accepted it and signed a formal lease with DeLuca on June 24th, 1960, commencing on July 1. So keep this in mind. 1960, you could buy brand new automobiles for $800.
Yeah.
1960, you could buy pretty nice houses for $2,000 and $3,000. That'd give you an idea. 1960, the price of gasoline was 17 cents per gallon with full service. A tenant would pump it, check your oil, check your transmission fluid, check all 4 tires, and clean your windshield for 17 cents. Also in 1960, the wife was a homemaker. She stayed at home, and the husband worked. She'd go to the supermarket, and for the family of 4, buy plenty of groceries at $35 to $40 per month and would last a whole week. So that gives you an idea what the 1960 prices were,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Delphine was not overjoyed with what we finally received, but as always she put a positive attitude and stated we would do well and not to worry. That's a good attitude. We'll do well and not to worry. I suddenly realized how preoccupied we had become with the entire project. I felt like I had neglected my family and almost longed for the days when our biggest worry was giving our children a happy and loving life. We did not discuss any of this, the least the Luca, the building, and any of it with Mother. So you never tell your mother nothing.
Yeah.
Minutes, please. And never displayed any interest in our progress or trepidations.
4.
All right. It would have been helpful to talk with someone who had interest in our heart to ease our minds and offer a helpful suggestion. We did not dare risk Mother's contempt, for she would interject much more into it than there was. We would have been an added burden
Yeah.
of a wraith to contend.
Well, nobody talked. Nobody talked to the family. We go there for dinner. They wouldn't talk about it.
They wouldn't bring it
so
up.
I didn't talk about it either.
We engaged an attorney called Fred Shedd. How was Fred Shedd as a barrister?
Frank Shedd was a plumber.
But how was Fred Shedd as an attorney? He was a.
Oh, Shedd was attorney. Yeah.
Was
yeah.
he good?
Yeah, he was in my division. I didn't know that until I talked to him. Yeah,
He was in your military division?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
No, he was a lawyer then. He was the military
He was
man.
a good guy.
Yeah.
So Fred Shedd was a straight up guy.
Yeah.
Fred Shedd to aid us in legal aspects and would soon become a weekly ritual to visit his office regarding our presumptions of DeLuca. So right off the bat, DeLuca was causing you problems.
Yeah.
He would demand compensation for a front and upper apartment, which were in no way responsible for us. How could you have a front apartment going up? Can't do it.
Well, it was a 3-story building, and he had those people living up there. They were all poor people up there. And he said, "Well, what you're doing, you're taking the heat out of their houses." I said, "How the hell am I I had the dryers down there. Everything heat rises, it doesn't go down."
Of nothing else, you're making the apartments upstairs warmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. He deemed compensation for a front and upper apartment, which there was no way we were responsible. He also said the use of the basement, as we put steel posts in to reinforce the floor, he said he could rent the basement, and now he was denied the right of
He's gonna make a restaurant down there.
all three of them. He wanted to add more rent, and we dropped the ceiling, claiming it cost him more to heat the upper apartment. So this guy was a true piece of work.
Yeah, he was a minister. Yeah, he's a minister.
Minutes, please. So no matter what you did, he wanted to squeeze more money out of you.
Yeah.
1.5.
Wow.
What time is it?
Well, let's talk about this. We only have a minute and a half. So, right to the very end, was DeLuca still alive at the 18th year? When you closed the store, was he still alive?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. He made it all those years, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez. Was he a pain in the ass right to the end?
What?
DeLuca. Was he a pain in the ass?
Oh yeah.
Right to the bitter end.
You know, he says you destroyed my basement. I was going to make a restaurant down there. I said, how the hell could I make a restaurant there? The place smelled like hell down there. And I put the bars up there, reinforcements to hold the cement up.
Did Delphine ever meet him?
No, Delphine never went into that place at all.
35 seconds.
So, anyways, DeLuca, the Italian minister, was a problem from
Right from the beginning.
1960 to the bitter end.
Yeah.
Wow. Did he ever do anything in your favor?
No.
No?
Well, when we opened up, he put flowers. He gave me put flowers around the cash register.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
8 seconds.
He gave you flowers and screwed you. Smiling faces will fuck you every
Yeah.
time.